Well, maybe you, like me, have been having some trouble sleeping lately. Now, Lord knows there are so many reasons that we might be stressed out and not getting a good night's sleep. But I also realized that really I'd kind of lost my mojo on some of my New Year's resolutions, and I wasn't getting up as early as I normally do. So I decided that the problem wasn't on the front end, my morning routine. I think it was the back end, my bedtime routine. So I decided to do a complete bedtime makeover. The reason that I'm excited about them is obviously they're absolutely gorgeous. First of all, I'm probably just all about what is beauty, both texturally and appearance-wise. But I'm also really attracted to them because they're so responsibly made. They're 100% cotton. They are fair trade certified. They're made in India, where they treat their workers well, they pay their workers well. They just really are a very responsible company. And in fact, when you get them, this is kind of one of the biggest problems I have found with them though. They're so beautifully boxed and packaged that it's kind of like not wanting to bite into a beautiful cupcake. It's so beautiful, I almost hated to unpack it and actually wash and use the bedding, which, by the way, you guys, the more you wash it, the better they feel. They feel absolutely wonderful. And I think that was part of the problem of, I really needed to replace my sheets. And I wanted to do them with something that was organic, and these are 100% organic. But they come, you know, just beautifully packaged like this. This is this is called a waffle weave blanket and a throw. But they also come with a tag that really talks about all of those things. Let's see, right here, there's a tag, and it shows that it is fair trade certified, 100% organic. We have chosen to change textile manufacturing for the better. This was made from responsibly sourced material by workers, and the workers were treated and paid very well. So that was really important to me. But back to the beauty of them, it was kind of hard for me to select what I wanted for my bedroom. I hadn't replaced my bedding in a really long time, and I wasn't sure about some of the colors, but then you start looking at the different colors, and oh my gosh, I was seduced not only by the beauty of like their signature sheet collection. I think it's their best-selling brand or best-selling product, but also just seduced by the names of the different colors. Oh my gosh, they were like stone and mineral and mist and shore, all in those kind of tonal colors that I'm just really attracted to. And the other thing is, I've shown nothing here but just all of their products, but they would also work beautifully then if you wanted to come back in with more textured things or more patterned things to showcase, you know, maybe a monogrammed pillow or something. But it's absolutely just beautiful. And happily, you guys, there's going to be a discount code. I believe it's Linda15, but I'll put a link. There are certain, exclusions, and just check what it says on their website. But definitely I'll put a link. I believe it's 15% off. So if you guys are to the stage where you're getting ready to switch maybe from your flannel stuff out to your spring attire, your spring wardrobe for your bed, and you're looking for new sheets, then definitely you want to check out Boll & Branch. So there you go. You guys definitely want to check them out. They're just a wonderful company and a wonderful product. Now, the other things are more practical about why I think I wasn't sleeping well. And I definitely needed to have a makeover. And I had been good about it in practice for a while, and then I was not so good about it. And that is looking at my phone too closely to bedtime. Now, I go to bed pretty early because I like to get up really early. and I'll sometimes get in bed and I'll read. But I have found recently that I've gotten in bed and I've been a little bit too consumed with the news, and so I've been reading the news and things at night. It also, my phone, I do a lot of work on my phone, and so I just found that I was just staying on it too long, and it was affecting my sleep. So now I am dedicated and resolved that I'm going to turn off my phone at 7:30 and not look at it again. I might even be 7 o'clock. Stuart, are you bad about that too? Yeah, well, maybe it doesn't play with everybody's brains, but it definitely, Stuart says, yes, it does. It definitely plays with mine, and I've fallen into some bad habits, and so I am resigned and resolved to now cutting off my phone at 7 or 7:30. Okay, the other thing was I had replaced a good habit with a bad habit, and that was I read a lot, but I found that I was reading a little bit less because I was so consumed with reading the news and things, which isn't necessarily a good idea to do right before you go into dreamland. So I have started reading more again. Right now, I've really been reading some poetry. My older son kind of got me into it, and I have been reading more poetry lately. Some of them were books that I found as we were going through a lot of his he had just tons and tons of books, a lot from his degree that he was working on, and we were culling through a lot of them, weaning through them to decide what he wanted to keep and what he didn't. Anyhow, I found lots of wonderful poetry books, and I highly recommend now Wendell Berry. It's beautiful nature-related poetry, and it's the wonderful kind of soothing thing to read before you go to bed, in addition to if you're reading some really good literature or something. I tend to read a lot of, nonfiction, and I'm also reading a book that's about 10 years old called Likeonomics, and the importance of likability in our macroeconomic world and economic environment. So that's been kind of interesting. So that was the next thing that I did. The next thing that I did in my bedtime routine makeover was very much, this is my huge shout out to you and my question of the day. And that is, Hubs and I found that we were sneezing a lot more than we normally do in the morning. So one thing I did was I really dusted all of my bookshelves again. But the other thing is I just felt like the air was just stuffy because of the heat being on. It was dry and stuffy. And some of you guys recommended that I get an air filter, an electronic air filter. And I did. And my question of the day is, who recommended that to me? Multiple people recommended it to me. And if you are one of those, then you get a huge gold star and many thanks from me, because I took your recommendation and I bought one and I've had it plugged in. Stuart's looking for it. I've got it a little bit hidden, but it definitely has made a difference in the air quality and the amount of dust. And so thank you. And that's my question of the day. Who was it that gave me a heads up about it? Then the other thing that I have, it's a practice that I have normally done, and I kind of got out of it. I'm not really sure why, but recently I've talked about buying a bunch of fresh flowers and things, and so I got a huge bouquet of, and I like to have one fragrant blossom by my bed. So I bought a huge, beautiful bouquet of fragrant clove-scented stock. I got it from Trader Joe's, and then I just put one by my bed. And I don't know. Can you smell it from there, Stuart? A little bit. There are times you can smell it more so than others. I've also been using lots of hyacinth by my bed, and I can tell you, I wake up in the middle of the night and the fragrance kind of wafts towards me, and I absolutely love it. Now, another change. So that's just kind of like a perk, and it's another reason to give yourself a treat as you're lying in bed, as you're reading, before you go to bed. Now, something else that I was doing that has long been a habit of mine, after dinner, I would say 99% of the time, especially in the winter, I have a cup of tea. And my favorite teas are really like English teas and just beautiful black teas, Darjeeling, even green tea, but those all have caffeine in them. And I realized that I was probably drinking that tea, multiple cups, bumping up way too close to my bedtime. And I think that may also have been messing with me a little bit. So now, after dinner, throughout the day I might drink regular caffeinated tea, but now after dinner I have pretty much exchanged or traded out any kind of caffeinated tea for herbal teas. And I like the Harney teas, but just pretty much anything I've got that's not caffeinated. Interestingly, I'm not a fan of chamomile tea. I love chamomile out in the garden. I love the scent of it, but it's a little too buttery for me. So there's another question for you. Do you like chamomile tea or not? I like things that tend to be a little bit brighter and a little bit more crisp. Then lastly, it's something that I can look forward to, I guess, in the morning. Stuart, if you would show, I'm also a big candle person, but I hesitate to burn them really at night because I'm always afraid I'll fall asleep and I won't blow it out. So I do love beautiful candles. You guys know I love this company by my friend out in California, but I leave it there so I can light it in the morning when I'm making the bed and going through my morning ritual, which, as I've told you before, is I meditate, I make my bed, and then I do a 1-minute plank and 12 to 15 push-ups. And that's kind of my morning routine. But this is a little treat for myself that I can look forward to as I go through the morning routine. So that in a nutshell is how I hope that a bedtime routine makeover will help me be a little bit more animated and a little bit more with it in the morning so I can get back my morning mojo. Starting with some treats to yourself. As I said, I love this Boll and Branch bedding. If you guys are like me and you need some fresh bedding, then I highly recommend it. I got, by the way, you guys will ask, I got the Shams, the signature sheet set, the duvet cover, and then the regular pillowcases too. And I think it's just beautiful. Isn't it really good looking, Stuart? Yeah, and this color is stone. So that is my little pitch to you, Boll and Branch. Thank you guys, and thank you for the wonderful products that you make so ethically, responsibly, and organically. And let me know, you guys, too, if you find that you've had to do some bedtime routine makeovers to help you sleep through the night.